Hey guys, welcome to Airsoft review and troubleshooting of Airsoft gun, a Glock variant, Comander XP18 from ASG. I have two issues with this gun, two main issues. The gasket of the green gas aftermarket magazines are leaking after a year use, and the first issue, the biggest one, is gas leakage. I'm going to show you a short clip from this guy, Blow Black Industries. So if your gun is doing this, I'm going to try to explain further than what he's actually saying. I did everything that he gave advice, and what would be the issue, why your gun is leaking gas.
Hey guys, welcome to Blowback Industries. My name is Martin, and if your gel blaster is doing this, then here are some ways that
Go watch him, follow him, and if you have more questions, come back here. Okay, so after I watched that, I did everything he explained in his video, almost everything, of course, but I think I fixed mainly my issue, and I found some some tips where we can look and actually find problems more than he explained us, so we can actually look at the gun and internals and the parts where we have wear from use. This gun is 3 years old or more, many rounds fired from it, so it's all black, and we can also here see wear on every part of the thing. So it's not brand new, it's been used. So what he said is actually check the valve. If you have good seal here, you see the pops, it's a good seal here. After I open it, just twist, clean the gaskets and lubricate them with some lube, some silicone lube for plastic, for rubber, and that should be for the magazine if it's not already leaking from the seals. Okay, I'll talk more about the seals, how I has fixed mine, and it's like a miracle. Okay, but before that, we want to make the gun not leak any gas, because if you have good magazines but you're leaking gas from your pistol, like you say, you're firing two shots at an enemy close range and you didn't hit him with the 2 to 4 rounds, you're gonna lose pressure, leak gas, and he'll be dead, he'll be shot and out of the game because your gun leaked. It happened several times to me. It's not a good feeling. I mean, you want to throw this thing on the ground, but it's a great pistol for me. It was my first, and still I'm using it, and I'm planning to use it more because I'm not giving up on it. Okay, let's dry fire. Warning. Okay, let's disassemble it, remove the slider. Okay, now you can actually see wear on the metal parts. Let me just zoom. You can see wear here. The metal was black, painted, but it's now it's now shiny because of the wear. Here, some places here, it's a good way to see where you have to apply a small film of oil for gears or for bike chains, whatever you have. It will be just fine oil, not too thick. Okay, the gas is coming through here. You can just spray a bit of silicone lubrication here, and how the gun is cycling. It should not be too hard. Just clean those slots from here. Proper cleaning from here. If it's brand new, you don't need to do that, but if it's a really old gun, should disassemble. Also the piston here, clean it, apply lube. Also the barrel. Clean the barrel. Wear here. We can apply a bit of oil here. So the places where we might have stuck and having more friction will be lube. That's how I'm treating it. Just apply a bit of oil, not too much. If you remove the screw, the sides will fall off and the piston assembly will be free. A warning: if you remove it, there will be a small spring here in a slot that you don't want to lose. Just remove the pin and gently dump it in somewhere that the little spring will not fall off. The little spring is actually responsible for retracting the piston back in its place. If you lose it, that's bad. Okay, clean it, lube it, make sure it should be how it is. Also the barrel, you want to have it clean from all the grease, all the silicone that you have probably built from firing and dust and particles. Okay, this is where the magic happens, in this trigger assembly. Okay, when we fire the shot, see how there is the pin and the hammer. The hammer falls, strikes the pin, and the pin actually strikes the valve and release a short amount of gas. Okay, after you have fired, the BB will leave the barrel, and most of the gas that has been released from the valve will force the slider back. The slider first hits this part, this pin. It will fall down, it will hold it. It is responsible for easily releasing the pin inside here. If I'm now trying to press it with my finger, it's not going back. So slider is hitting and holding down this pin. After that, it will release the trigger to reset the trigger, and it will start retracting and recocking the hammer. Okay. The trigger release, and then it will start cocking back the hammer. You hear this click. Okay, the hammer has been cocked, but as you see, the hammer is not back, the pin is not back in its position. If I press this, it will actually go back. So we have to hold this, release the trigger, and then cock the hammer. If you have friction here, your hammer might hold in its position while being cocked. And if you have low pressure, either from your CO2 tank magazine or from the green gas magazine, if you have low pressure, it will move back, it will hit this to trigger, to release the trigger, but it will only halfway cock the piston, the hammer, and it will get stuck in there, and the hammer will not be pulled back. If the hammer is not pulled back, you have gas leakage. You should have several magazines that you can test if their pin is actually working. So if there is dirt or small rocks, something inside that is getting stuck and you're not having good CO here, you might have problems with the magazine, but that's really unlikely. The main issue would be wear, I think, on the, or bad maintenance, or wear, or just too much dirt on the hammer assembly. Adding if we add too much grease, lack of maintenance of every part where it is producing friction, like here, in the slider, on this side, on this leaf, on the slider. If we all add that with low pressure, you most likely will be experiencing the gas leakage that you just several minutes ago saw from the clip. But we clean, we apply lube, and we just hope it works. If it doesn't work, we should look for wear. Some part has been wear down. The tolerances are not as they should be from the manufacturer. Maybe your slide is getting too loose. Here, let me try to show you. Do you see this part of the slide? Right here, it's like a little indent. It's protruding more than this side, so it will be the first thing that is going to wear down. Same on this side and here. So apply regularly oil and lube here to just prolong the life of the parts that are under heavy friction. So the gun will last you years and years before those parts have to be replaced. Good luck with replacing. I'll probably buy a new one. It will be much cheaper and convenient than trying to find the exact part from any of those. Maybe you're getting lucky if you find an old gun in good condition, the same model, and you buy it from second hand, other than just trying to find the manufacturer. Maybe he discontinued the gun. Good luck finding it. Okay, so you can see even the wear here. It's this part should be all black, but on top is already lost his paint, and here it needs, I'm seeing like small, like maybe really small part of a millimeter where the metal has been grinded by the slider. Okay, we hold here to release the hammer, then the trigger is reset, and then the hammer is cocked, and then the slider is going back by the spring. One thing that I think could help also is if you're having a replacement spring of the stock, maybe a little weaker than the stock, or you just cut it, like really cut it, or make it weaker, like we compress it so it will be easier. It will be a bit easier for the slider to cock back the hammer and all the parts move back, because the spring will be really compressed when the slider is further back, and it should have enough power, stored energy, to overcome and cock and load the next BB in the gun. If you're not having good reloads, you're having too much friction, or not enough loop, or the spring is too weak. So we can try reducing the tension that the spring is giving to the gun, to the slider. Okay, let's try to disassemble it. Okay, so if you get stuck here, you'll get gas release, gas leak. I had many fails even with the CO2, the original cartridge, the original magazine, and the first time it happened was the green gas. So I will fire, and then I will get a gas leakage when the pressure gets low after several shots. Now what I checked after doing everything that I showed you, and you watch from the channel of Glock gas leak, Glow Black Industry. So I tested it. I fired 50-40 rounds, like 2.5 times, loaded fully this magazine. I fired it and I didn't see a fail. I didn't saw a leakage. When the pressure dropped, it moved back, stayed in this position, not fully cocked, not ready, but it didn't leak. Normally before it would actually start leaking when the pressure gets low. The worse condition, the more the gun is dirty and less lubricated with less maintenance, the more prone it will be to gas leakage. It's a problem that it will come back, but with proper maintenance it should be avoided most of the time. Okay, for the magazine, it's if you have green gas magazines, they have a seal. A rubber gasket here, a rubber seal. It is holding down from those two pins only. Those two pins are applying pressure to the gasket. My magazine, the first that started leaking, I went to the service where I bought the gun and the magazines from the shop. The guy took it 3 times. He disassembled it and assembled it with a new gasket. And the final verdict, it was you have probably dropped it, it's warped, the corpus is damaged, you cannot seal it. Bro, really, you don't say. You never dropped a mag before. Okay, so it was they didn't want to fix it for me, and they couldn't, so I fixed it myself. Let's see if this was the leaking one. I still have, yeah, it is leaking, not from the nozzle when you refill it, it's leaking from here. Okay, how do you fix it? Remove the pins. Remove the bottom. Okay, looks like this, really greasy, because previously I opened it, applied, but they couldn't fix it. Yeah, okay, what we want to do is clean it nicely with some cleaner, degreaser, whatever you have. Then before that we want to remove the old gasket, the old sealant, this rubber around these edges. After we remove it, we clean everything really well, dry it, and we apply generous amount of silicone for gaskets. So it will be high and low temperatures resistant silicone. Also apply around these edges a generous amount. Then we close it. Put back the pins and wait 2-3 days at least for the silicone to dry out before you use it, and it's done. This magazine and this magazine both were leaking. This one is held by a screw, but it was leaking too. So both two, I fixed them because they were leaking with silicone gasket. I filled it, I removed the old gasket, fill it with silicone, and it should be solid for at least a year. And a year, like you have 20-30 games a year, you have no problem unless you just bang some nails or really dropped it many times on the ground. Maybe that will break, but I still don't have those two lost the seal from the silicone. Yeah, if the silicone fails, remove it, clean it, and apply another silicone. It should last much longer. It's much solid than just the rubber sheet that they place here. And believe me, one after another they started releasing gas from the seal, the magazines. It is what it is. I mean, the gasket is failing, or the metal is warping from the temperature, or uneven shrinking and expanding, because those things things get really cold. After several shots, after firing the whole magazine, it will get really cold, and they will expand, they will contract, and you'll probably lose CO here. And if you don't have good CO, yeah, you start losing gas. Okay. I think that will be for me. It's a great gun. Many people like it, like me. From the field, some of them also have it and really enjoy it. But it's a great gun when you actually cherish it and you take care of it. Otherwise, no matter how good the gun is, it will fail at some point. Yeah. Thank you for watching.